War leaves scars. Some are visible, destroyed cities, broken nations, graves that stretch beyond the horizon. But some scars are buried, hidden beneath classified files, political agreements, and uncomfortable silence. This is the story of a war crime that was never punished. During the chaos of war, when global attention was focused on battlefronts and military strategy, a small civilian region became the site of a devastating military operation. It was not a battlefield. It was not a fortified base. It was home to ordinary people, men, women, children. Official reports at the time described the operation as strategic, necessary, a response to resistance. But survivor accounts told a different story. Eyewitnesses described soldiers entering the area without warning. Homes were searched. Civilians were gathered. Fear spread faster than any official announcement. What followed was not combat. It was destruction. Buildings were set ablaze. Families were separated. And within hours, the town was reduced to smoke and silence. There were no armed defenses strong enough to justify the scale of force used, yet the operation continued. When news of the incident reached international observers, it was labeled an unfortunate casualty of war. An internal investigation was reportedly launched, but the findings were never fully released. Instead, the narrative shifted. Officials claimed misinformation, exaggeration, confusion during wartime. The language changed from massacre to incident, from crime to mistake. And slowly, global attention moved elsewhere. Years passed. Documents related to the event were classified. Key witnesses disappeared from public discourse. Some military leaders involved were reassigned, promoted, or quietly retired. No major trials followed, no international court rulings, no formal accountability. Historians later uncovered fragments of suppressed reports suggesting that high-ranking officials were aware of what had happened. Internal communications hinted at panic, not over the act itself, but over potential public reaction if details became widespread. The fear was not justice, it was exposure. Political alliances at the time complicated matters further. Holding individuals accountable might have destabilized fragile diplomatic relations, and so silence became the preferred solution. Over time, the event faded from textbooks, mentioned briefly, if at all. Survivors, however, did not forget. Their testimonies described the same pattern: sudden violence, overwhelming force, and a lack of consequence. As decades passed, independent researchers and investigative journalists attempted to reopen the case. Some declassified documents confirmed elements of the original accusations, but key files were missing, destroyed, redacted, lost. Without complete evidence, legal action remained nearly impossible, and so the war crime remained unpunished. This raises a disturbing question. What determines justice during war? Is it morality, law, or political convenience? History shows that not all crimes are prosecuted equally. Power can shield responsibility. Alliances can silence outrage. And sometimes the truth becomes a casualty of diplomacy. Today, memorials may stand where destruction once occurred. Speeches may acknowledge tragedy, but acknowledgement is not the same as justice. The individuals responsible were never fully held accountable in a court of law. No definitive verdict, no final sentence, just a quiet transition into history. The war ended. The world moved forward, but justice did not. Because sometimes the most dangerous crimes are not the ones committed in darkness, but the ones committed in daylight and then protected by silence. This was not just a tragedy of war, it was a failure of accountability, a reminder that power can delay justice, sometimes permanently. And perhaps the most unsettling truth is this: history remembers the event, but it never delivered the punishment. This is Uncharted Eras, Dark History, uncovering the truths history tried to bury.